goes that? Go, bing, bong. Hey everybody, welcome to Houston with a Problem. It's Wednesday, November 24th. I got hosed. That's where we are. We basically just got, I think they did all their buying on Monday, and anything happening after hours? Nope, whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing happening after hours. C'est la vie. Yeah. So if you got your options on Friday and you sold them on Monday, you did it. If you're like me and you bought yesterday thinking today would have some pop, you didn't do it. You got hosed so hard. So yeah, not much to go on today. I finished our charity show late last night. If you folks missed it, we raised it. We raised $1,000. So yay! So next month's charity show is going to be for Toys for Tots because it's Christmas week. Why not? Yeah. So today's shiny shirt, we've got ourselves tiny little elephants, silk tie silk elephants, and one of the collars is bent and will not bend back, so it's popping up. Okay, so what we got? Jump in the chat. First, second, cool people, awesome. Marvin Guevara, is metamaterial short squeeze play if I bought post merger? Yeah. I mean, if you don't have any of the Torchlight preferred shares, you might not get whatever the dividend happens to be, which I'm guessing at this point is going to be a rollover into a new oil company. It doesn't sound like they've sold the oil fields, so they're going to have to just make a new oil company. And they've got cash. They have $100 million or something that from issuing stock just before the merger. They raised like $100 million. So they've got cash to do that, and oil prices are stupid high right now. Although Biden did announce that they are releasing some of the strategic petroleum reserve to ease prices, so maybe the oil prices are going to come down, and then that land will be useless. We'll see. Highway Frog. I must have put 1,000 gallons of fuel into my truck, driving it back and forth to my mechanic. It wouldn't run more than 16 hours. How is that saving the environment? Doesn't sound like it is saving the environment. So, yeah. Meow meow. Why oh why have you not explained why we should not DRS our shares? Turn off your intro. Happy birthday. Oh yeah, intro. Boom. Ha! Intro's off, suckers. You can DRS your shares. I'm just not going to do it. There. How's that for explanation? Ta-da. Chris R. sent you another crazy crypto run on Twitter. Yeah, I just saw it right before I came on. Which one was it? It was what was it? U something. Whoops. Get back here. VCC. So VCC went from micro. So it went from 0.4 of a penny or less to almost $3 just in the last bit. In last day or so? No. Yeah. That's 15 minutes. Holy shit. It's VCCC. VCC, whatever coin that is, went absolutely bonkers. You know, they're pumping weird things, and that's why I have my plan of just having a whole bunch of shit coins. And every once in a while, one's going to pop off, it seems. Blah. So, yeah. Ragman asks, Houston, you're still holding your calls? No, I sold them right before close for a giant loss. It happens. Looks like Monday was the gamma day, and they must have bought everything they needed, or they just let it all go to FTDs and didn't care after that. So, yeah. Roberto Benegas, your thoughts on DRNA? Someone asked me last night about it. I haven't had a chance to look into them yet. They did quite a pop. I mean, they went up like 50% overnight on the 17th or something. It's been pretty high since then. but I've had a chance to look in deeper. Yeah. So. Matt Newton says they're only releasing 3 days worth of supply from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. So the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is interesting. It was created by Eisenhower in the 1950s. And basically, the U.S. government said, oh boy, we've got a ton of oil. What we should do for security purposes is we should bleed the rest of the world dry, use all of their oil, and then when they have no more oil, we'll be the only country left with oil, therefore we'll have the only standing army. And that was kind of the reasoning behind the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Since then, a whole bunch got released by George W. Bush. 2003? Somewhere in there is when they did that first big release. And it's been released since then. And a whole bunch of shale oil has been discovered all over the world since then. So now we have like 10 times the amount of oil available we ever thought we did. So, yeah. Interesting thing. So now we kind of use it to offset OPEC and their manipulations of oil prices. If we want oil prices to drop significantly, you just get rid of sanctions on Venezuela, help them rebuild their infrastructure, and then boom, you have the largest proven oil reserves in the world all of a sudden have access to the market. Seems a pretty easy solution to me. MT, what is the difference between exercising options and selling than to buy shares? Bruce says to sell your in the money options. Girk says to exercise. What's the difference and who is the shill? Well, you can exercise to close, which is when you tell your broker, hey, I don't have the money to do this, but buy all 100 options, buy all 100 shares, sell what you need to cover the cost, because if it's in the money, right, you're buying for this and you can sell for this. So whatever that profit window is, those are the number of shares they're going to give you. So if it's 10% higher, they'll sell 90% of the shares and give you 10 of them. If it's 5% higher, they'll sell 95 of them and give you 5 of them. But what happens is they exercise those, then the options guys have to go find those shares eventually and make good on the deal. And that's why exercising to close can cause some pressure for further gamma squeezes and further buy pressure to move the price up. You can always sell them and just get the cash, and that helps you get cash, but does nothing for buying more shares or increasing the buy pressure. Unless you take that cash and buy shares with it or something, that can do that. Oh man, a whole bunch of super chats just exploded in here. Meow meow. Do you think after MOAS, managers like Griffin and Plotkin will simply resurface and once again be leaders in finance? Yeah, that's what they do. They pop up 5 years later with a new fund. They still have their buddies, and they got a whole new scheme. They'll do it over and over and over until they die of a coronary or something. Joey Sullivan, thoughts on whether buying options or even shares allows market makers to create more synthetics and use them to dilute price action. No liquidity equals MOAS. Market makers will create synthetics no matter what. They don't need an excuse. They literally have the power to be like, I'm making synthetics. That's what we're going to do. And they do it. Basically, they're in this weird robber's cycle where they sold naked. And then they bought a whole bunch of options, pushed the burden onto the options market that sold them naked options. Then all of a sudden they exercise the options, and the options guys have to go and find the shares. And when they find the shares, they buy the naked ones from the market makers. And it's just this rubber cycle that's just generating more and more and more and more and more and more of these naked shares over and over and over. It's never ending until someone finally puts an end to it, I think. Deck P, so weird. I watched about 30 minutes of the stream last night. Had to sleep, but in the morning you were still streaming. Crazy. Stay high to Monkey. Monkey butt, they say hi. I'll say that she said hi back. Why not? Oh crap. A whole bunch of these just disappeared. Cameron Mirza. What do you think about a fictitious bird, Big Bird, running a Twitter campaign against... Oh, Senator Big Bird. It's pretty funny. If you guys haven't seen Senator Big Bird, Senator Big Bird is basically just absolutely haranguing Ted Cruz, and it's pretty funny. Yeah, go to Twitter, look up Senator Big Bird. They're pretty good. All Senator Big Bird has to do is just insult Ted Cruz's wife, and Ted will fold like a wet napkin. So, yeah. All right. What we got here? BJK031, thoughts on Girk's theory that we'll have another January run up. He said that there might not have been enough liquidity for even rollover dates now. Possibly. I mean, he was half right about the options play. Like, he thought it was going to extend into Wednesday. It was, they did the gamma on Monday, and then that was it. So he's half right. Like, seriously, if you bought on Friday or Thursday last week and sold on Monday, you were up 500-600%. Awesome. If you held, you're out. Who knows? If you're still holding, there may be some sort of run that happens on Friday, but Friday's a half day. It's a holiday week. It's weird. People may not be paying attention. I don't know. I just sold mine at the end of the day because I got something out of it. Well, not really something out of it. I lost a whole bunch, and I got a little bit left. Number letters. How do you feel about Cardano? I have no feelings about Cardano. It's another crypto out there doing crypto things. That's what I have. Let's see here. Boom. Questions. Oh, and MT says the Melvins melted my face off. Yeah, I told you they would. Thunder, just pure chest heart rate changing thunder is what the Melvins are. Chicago Transit minority, thoughts on Robinhood being the largest holder of Doge. Yeah, so this is probably because they don't have individual wallets. They keep saying they're going to have them. They've been promising for months now that they're going to create individual wallets inside Robinhood. But at the moment, when you buy Doge or whatever, all they're doing is they've got this huge pool of all their Doge coins, and they say you own this much of it. That's all they're doing. That's it. Because you don't have it in your individual wallet, so you can't transfer it around. You can't move it from wallet to wallet. And the same thing with their Bitcoin, same thing with their Ethereum, same thing with the LRC or the LRC. I can't remember which other ones, Litecoin or whatever they have on there. So that's why their wallet is so huge, because it's just like the street name on your stocks, right? They write Fidelity as the owner of the stocks, and it goes into the big Fidelity basket, and then you get this much of it. Oh, you have these 7 shares or whatever. That's what Robinhood is doing with the crypto. So that's why their wallet is so gigantic. But I wouldn't doubt right now, because they're talking about they're putting SHIB on there. I wouldn't doubt if Robinhood bought just like cajillions of dollars of Shiba Inu back in March or whatever, and when they launch it, everyone who wants to buy it will have to buy it from them, and so they're going to make just a fortune off of it. Anime Houston, I have a 220 call expiring January 21st. Should I sell? For any mall, sorry. No. Get till January? Hold that sucker. I'll be back at 220 again, no problem. I would stay holding on to that guy. Don't sell while it's sell when it's going up. Meow meow. Have you ever looked at Japan's tech deep in the island to keep it from sinking? I think did the island actually move feet from the quake? Are you talking about the man-made island, the one that the airport's built on, in Yokohama or something? It is until Palm Jumeirah, it was the largest man-made island in the world. So we can go through the man-made islands. Let's do that real quick. Why not? Why not? We like this. Okay, so we got focused on Seattle. We zoom in. We go into downtown Seattle. This is an island called Harbor Island. This was the largest man-made island in the entire world. And this was a result of the regrade project. So Seattle was built on like 7 gigantic hills, and they actually just tore a bunch of them down. So there was a big hill here called Denny in the 1920s. They just used giant hoses and hosed the entire hill down into the bay, used shovels and stuff. They cut a path between Capitol Hill and Beacon Hill, and they took all this dirt out so they could make sort of a pass through here, and they made Harbor Island out of it. And they filled up a bunch of the bogs here. It used to be all oyster farmers in the south of downtown area, the Soto district. And it was all like bogs and buildings on piers and boardwalks. They filled it all in. Now it's an industrial area. So this was, for a time, the largest man-made island in the world. And then we go to zoom out. Let's go to Japan. Whoops, that's Australia. Let's go to Japan. Let's go to Japan. Let's go to Yokohama. And where's the airport? Wait, is it Tokyo Airport or is it Yokohama Airport? That's not the airport. There's the airport. Okay. So then they built this airport all out of fill. And this became the largest man-made island in the entire world. And this one's sinking currently. I don't know what tech they're doing to make it not sink. What they're doing, I haven't read anything about that. But this became the largest man-made island in the entire world. And it's all done with fill. And you know, the tech for making this stuff compact and stay, it's hard. It has not been, improved. It's been improved on, but it wasn't perfected, I think, when they built this island. And then we have the newer islands. We got to go all the way across the Middle East and to the Palm Islands off of Dubai. So here we go. So we have the Palm Jumeirah, and then Palm Jebel Ali, and they're building another one here, and then they've got the World, which is kind of almost looks like a world. I don't know, where they're trying to build like resorts, and I think Angelina Jolie bought Ethiopia or something, but they have ships and they're just sucking sand out of the shore and just piling it up, and then have these big tamping machines just vibrate it down and get all the space between them all. And these are now the largest man-made islands in the world. And they're pretty big. The Palm Jumeirah is fairly filled out now. They've got quite a bit of development on there. This one is still being built, so there's not much development at all on this. And then the World has almost no development. There's only a couple of islands that have had anything done with them. And yeah, so there you go. And this is a collection of islands. But they're building a lot of them, and because why not? You got money, you got sand, you might as well make some islands, right? Sell them for millions of dollars, and then you're good to go. But yeah, I don't know what tech Japan's doing to keep the islands from sinking. I'll have to look that up. All right, back to Houston. Now that we toured the world of islands. Alternative Assist 492 will Metamaterial and MMTLP, the Torchlight Preferred Share, both get dividend if we had them, or one squeeze what and the other? Wait, one squeeze some and the other just get the dividend. Any guesses? You'll only get the dividend if you have MMTLP shares. If you've got Metamaterial shares, you have no dividend. Metamaterial is still a baby tech stock, and they are, they're building their market. They're building their manufacturing. They're getting contracts now. They're starting to like sell some product, but they are an investment for the future. The Torchlight Preferred Shares, if somehow they manage to sell their oil leases before the end of the year, then everyone gets cash. If they don't, then all those shares become shares in a new oil company. And so what can basically happen is there were, say, 1 billion naked shares created for Torchlight. And everyone who got Torchlight shares on the date of record got 1 share of this preferred share of stock. It's the placeholder for the dividend. And when they issue the dividend, whether it's issuing cash or turning into an oil stock, that will trigger something, because a whole bunch of sort of synthetic preferred shares got created, and there's way too many of them out there. So if it's a cash dividend, then the people who created the synthetic shares are going to owe a pile of money that they don't have. If they roll it into stock in an oil company, then there's going to be a whole bunch of failure to delivers, because the synthetic ones won't roll over. And they're going to be forced to buy a lot of those shares up. And because Torchlight became metamaterial, it may force buying as well for the return of borrowed shares in metamaterial. So that's where the squeeze potential is. And we just won't know anything until after they announce whatever the dividend is in January. So just sit, wait, twiddle our thumbs. That's all we can do. Oh, I forgot to tell you, today's going to be kind of a short show because I've got to go visit family. They're in town, and I have not had a chance to go see them yet. So I'm only got like to like 2:30 today, so I got another 40 minutes, and then I gotta bail and say hi to my folks and family and do that stuff. I was supposed to see them all last night, but then emergency happened and I couldn't see them all last night. But that's what Thanksgiving's about. You got to see your family. Okay. Metamaterial seems to dump when AMC and GME go up, and vice versa. And metamaterial might be not a negative beta stock at this point. It might be running with the market. Yeah. Oh, of course, it resets. My shirt is very shiny today, Wildcard. It is a very, very shiny shirt. Look how shiny that thing is. That is just shining all over the place. This is one of the better shiny shirts. This might be my second favorite shiny shirt, after the one with the Buddhist temples on it. Earth Resident 2468. I cannot sit down today thanks to the treatment getting dished out by GME Options at the moment. Yeah, my chair is extra uncomfortable today. Look, says Houston, I'm totally sold on Gherkin's theory. He probably didn't miss. They just zigzagged. Probably. I mean, I may have just hosed myself and maybe everything will rocket on Friday and I'll be like, which is, it's like when you got two lines of traffic and you're like, oh, this one's moving. So you move into that one, this one stops, and then everyone's screwed. Today's shirt is great, like Tony the Tiger. Great. Chick off. Monkey Butt, someone wants to see you. Yeah, you want to see people? Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Up here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Let's come up and say hi. There's a Monkey Butt. There's a Monkey Butt saying hi. Oh, she's in the way. Say hi. Say hi. Yes, you hate every moment of this. Oh, yeah, you do. Yes, you do. You hate every moment of it. Yes. Okay. You can go be a dog again. All right. There's your seeing Monkey Butt for the day. And now she's just staring off into space next to me. J. Ken says Gherkin decided to hold his till Friday end of day. Well, more power to him. Maybe I'll buy some early in the morning or something. I don't know if I get the sense that it's going to be going. Karen Mers, if fire breaks out Toledo refinery in Oregon today, there'll be a fuel shortage just in time for Thanksgiving here. Awesome. Sweet. So that's going to hurt the Northwest. We have like two refineries. You got that one. We have Anacortes in Washington. There's one in Montana, I think. But meh. In Canada, BC is on rationing for many communities. They're like 10 liters a day or something. So, woo! Yay. Yay, everybody. BJK031, Houston, check out the metal band Byzantine for some face-melting prog groove rock. The Agonies is a good song for an intro. All right, Byzantine. Oh, come on, you stupid pen, work. There we go. Byzantines. And then the agony? The agonies. Okay. The agonies. All right. We'll check them out. Tubed out. Who's Gherkin? Gherkin is from Pickle Financial. He's a YouTuber, day trader guy. And he was the one that basically said that we should expect some gamma squeeze this week. And we saw it. And then it just back down again. Yeah. But he also had some lower options than I did. I bought at 230. And I think he had ones that were basically in the money already. So... looking. Tubed out. I really thought GME would have gone to 300. My options went 600% profit to 195% profit. Hey, at least you had profit, because I don't. Josh Walker, happy birthday, Houston. MMTLP probably won't be a cash dividend. Oil companies do big land purchases like that at the beginning of quarters. Possibly. I bet they'll turn it into an oil company, and then they'll just get bought out. That'd be what I think that they're going to try and do. Or turn into another SPAC again. So, yeah. Felix says LRC total float has been bought. Wait, nearly been brought? Then what? Bought. I think it means bought. Say bought. So LRC float has nearly been bought. Then what? I don't know. I mean, the price goes up when liquidity goes down, so I expect LRC coin to rise, especially if they've got good news from GME or someone like that coming. Yeah. And then Josh Walker says land departments at oil companies are always out of the money at the end of the year. Oh, all right. There's things I don't know about oil companies. Never really looked too deep into how their financials work. We got Travis Wright super chatting. If MMTLP divvy does end up being shares in an oil company, how much do you think it'll be worth? Ooh. Well, I don't actually know the number of reserves they have. I do know that the oil field is profitable at $50 plus per barrel. So as long as the oil is above that, they can drill it and they can make money. So how much would it be worth? If it's how many 200,000 acres? I got to do some math here really quick. Let's just whip out this calculator because so 200. No, it'd be there's 145 million divided by 200,000. So oops, back one. So it'd be 725. Multiply that sucker by equals that times 20. So $14,500 per acre. That sound right? Times 200,000. So the land is probably worth in oil between 2 and 5 billion in oil. That's what they're so a market cap of a few $100 million for something like that. So a few bucks. Unless they sell out all the land at once, and then they could be worth tens of dollars. But, yeah. The oil is probably worth between 2 and 5 billion at this point, maybe more. And that doesn't even count natural gas or anything that they can get out of it as well. So, 2 to 5 billion, probably several $100 million. There's 145 million preferred shares. So $2 to $5 a share, perhaps, somewhere in there. That makes sense to me, unless they get some sort of buyout, and then the price can go up. Let's see here. No, as thoughts on Germany allowing Mary Jane. More power to Germany. Did they legalize it finally? The NATO countries are finally getting in line and legalizing all these things because, the U.S. no longer holds everyone hostage with these drug laws. for things like that. Oh, monkey dog, you are just such a weirdo right now. You are so weird. You're being so weird, dog. Daniel's saying, hello at Anna Montorio. Fire your question. Let's see how backlog is Houston. What? Well, Anna Montorio, if you got a question, throw it at me. Let's see what we got. Questions. Jillian, she looks like a Catahoula mix. And yes, she does have Catahoula eyes. Oh, she's got the crazy Catahoula eyes. I've got a video, I think it got posted to her Instagram, where I made her like sit on this beach, and there's a whole bunch of driftwood logs, and then I filmed her, and in slow motion I was like, come here, and she's like leaping over all these logs and just making eye contact as she's leaping over all these logs, and she's not breaking eye contact at all for like the entire 50-yard run. It's absolutely crazy eyes. Yeah, they're gold like that, or they're kind of white blue. Yeah, she's half Catahoula, half Whippet. Crazy fast. When she was about 10, 11 months old, we were in a dry lake bed in Eastern Oregon, and I put her out of the truck, and I just took off driving, called her, and she's running next to the truck, and she was going like 40 miles an hour. Just looked like the side of a Greyhound bus. Just whoo, so fast. The coyotes around here do not stand a chance. She just goes out there and just slaughters them. It is brutal. She was gone last night, just ripping coyotes apart. Came back just happy as can be. Yeah, that's her favorite thing in the world. All the cats end up hanging out in our yard because there are no coyotes around here. They just stay away. An episode where Monkey Butt hosts in Houston's voice. All right. Oh, quit resetting, you stupid chat. Crafted Genius, what's the difference between shorting a stock and a put? Aren't they both bets on the stock going down? They are. So a put is basically a guarantee of someone buying that stock from you at a certain price. That makes sense? So you pay a premium of a few dollars and per share or whatever. And let's say the stock price is at $100 and you essentially buy a put at 90. And so you're betting that the stock price is going to go below 90, and then they're going to have to buy that stock from you at more than what it's worth when it stops going down by the end date. And that's how a put works. Shorting is traditionally someone has the stock, you think the price is going to go down, so you borrow the stock from them and you sell it at that high price. And then when the stock drops, you go back and buy the stock and give it back to the person you borrowed it from. And you keep whatever that difference was on the sale. So those are the big differences. Puts and calls can be hard for people to like wrap their heads around. So that's the easiest way I can explain it, I guess. Grandpa Barney's here. Hey, bro, what do you think about what Lou is talking about to stop buying shares, synthetic shares, because we're just giving the hedgies money to use against us? No, buy and hold. Lou's wrong. Like if you stop buying shares, the buy pressure disappears and the stock price goes. And so, but if you keep buying shares and the price keeps going up, then the hedge funds actually lose money in the end. Every synthetic share you buy is a giant liability for them. So, you know, if you're buying shares at $170 and the price goes to 200, they just lost $30 on that share. That's why buy and hold works. If you refuse to sell, even when the price dips down low and you refuse to sell, it just goes right back up again, and they're still stuck with that liability. That's why the buy and hold strategy is the entire strategy. So Lou is wrong about that. Yeah. So that's what I think about that. Matt Newton, Houston, how'd we go from energy independence to all this weird shit so fast? They're rationing. There's a shortage, not price gouging. Thoughts? The shortage is almost entirely because Saudi Arabia is holding back supply big time. Uh, uh, MBS, the crown prince who's kind of running the country, he murdered a critic in Turkey who was an American resident and journalist. And basically they had him cut apart with hacksaws really gruesomely. It's recorded on security camera, or I think it's audio of it, or is it security camera? I can't remember which. But yeah, they murdered this man at the behest of MBS. And because he did that, Biden administration hasn't met with him. And as a, how dare you not meet with me, Saudi Arabia is holding back oil production for the entire world. That combined with the fact that the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran got torn up. So now Iran doesn't have open access to the markets. We slapped sanctions on Venezuela, so Venezuela doesn't have access to the markets. That oil price is just higher because two of the largest producers in the world don't have access to produce oil, and the largest producer of oil in the world is refusing to produce oil, and that's causing prices to go up. And then you combine that with natural disasters. You combine that with shortage of truckers, pileups at ports, hurricanes, earthquakes, exploding refineries, etc. You have an energy shortage, and that's what we're dealing with, man. So our infrastructure is garbage, our politics suck, and we cause problems. But you know, there we go. That's where we are. Squamps, as a quote from Girk, says, I just spoke with CME. Settlement up to 4 p.m. for today, 5 p.m. tonight to noon tomorrow is settled Friday. There is nothing from this week settling Monday. Someone on Girk's stream today. So I may have been an idiot and sold. That's probably the case. That'd be my guess. And Grandma Barney sold AMC, bought GME, 200 GME and 2100 AMC. Better? Yeah, man. I mean, either way, you got a pile of shares that are worth a ton, my man. You're good. It's more than I have. Way more than I have. I think you're fine. I think you're going to do just fine. Yeah. My stupid chat keeps resetting. It's driving me up the wall. Okay, so that's that question. Scroll down. Cameron Mirza asked, "How much did I raise yesterday?" We did just about $1,000. We did 488 prior to. Let's see here. If I click on, which one did I click on? Click on this one. No, refresh that. Sorry, I'm going to check on the numbers here. Hopefully a whole bunch of sound doesn't come up and make things weird. Okay, I'm going to check, click on you, and click on that. And $502 with the first show. And second show we raised... Where are you? There you are. 512. Boom, broke 1,000.
He thinks that's
Yeah. Not bad. $1,014 was how much we raised between those two halves of the show for prostate cancer research. Awesome. Good job, everybody. I appreciate that so much. And again, week of Christmas, our Charity Tuesday is going to be for Toys for Tots. Let's get those tots some toys. No says... news just broke 4 hours ago that pot's going to become legal. Green Party, Left Party, Liberal Party all want that green cash. All right. Germans are getting stoned. Are there German weed stocks out there that everyone should be investing in? I have no idea. Will they be allowed to buy American or Canadian marijuana? It will have to be all like grown in greenhouses by Germans with dreadlocks. Dead Valley. Greetings, Brain Stripper. Your thoughts about getting certified to become a financial advisor? Yeah, I'm not going to become a certified financial advisor. That's just, I mean, what am I going to do with that? I enjoy spending, a few hours a week chit-chatting with all of you. It's a blast. I love it. But I don't know if I want to like sit in an office and have to chit-chat with people about their retirement programs. That doesn't really appeal to me so much. I like being able to bounce all over the place, and we can talk about volcanoes and relativity and American diplomacy during the Cold War and stocks and everything else. Keep me on my toes. That's what I like about doing this. And I would love to be able to keep doing this for as long as possible. Okay. J. Ken says, Gherkin doesn't believe we had the volume for them to cover the exposure. He said one possibility could be there was no more shares available for them to cover. Liquidity at near zero. Maybe not. I mean, maybe I'll take the cash that I have left over from my terrible choice of purchasing on Tuesday. Maybe I'll buy some day of, Friday morning. And get 10 more of them or something rather than the 3 that I had. And maybe I'll make it back up. Fingers crossed. Let's hope. I don't know. Yeah. James Danker, I want to edit all the things Houston says and the faces he makes right before he plays his intro. Other YouTubers are so much smarter. They like introduce the show and then they hit their intro. I'm like, yeah, intro. All right, Jersey's got some spots here for us. Let's see here. We're going somewhere in the world. Where are we going? We're going Jersey. Oops, nope. I don't want to go in the ocean. I want to go there. Bam. All right, we're going to Europe. We're flying. We're going to, where are we? We are somewhere here. What a lovely little beach town. That's a nice sandy beach. All right. Where are we? Looks like a fancy building. It's got some glass in the front. My guess is we are to go to street level and see what's there. Okay. Typical architecture in Europe just after the legalization of marijuana. Oh. There we go. Kersey Domek. Isn't there also like a building kind of like this in Amsterdam or something where it's all like warbly wobbly? There you go. All right. Is this in Poland where we are? I have no idea where we are. Exit street view. Zoom out. Whoops, what's happening? Zoom out. Come on, zoom out. What's happening? Why is this not? Oh. There we go. For some reason I didn't. All right. We are, where are we? Yeah, it looks like we're in Poland. Oh, right near Gdansk. Man, it's a nice beach. Totally nice beach. How lovely is that in the summertime? Is the water like still just freezing, or can you actually enjoy it? Because here we got a few nice beaches in the Seattle area, but the water's always just numbing, absolutely miserable. So you don't want to actually be in the water. So it's a lovely beach. It's a very lovely beach. Downright luxurious. Clive Calculator. Khashoggi recorded on his Apple Watch. That's how it got recorded. Okay. And it was like the Turkish spies or something and managed to intercept it, I think. Yeah. Josh Walker says domestic oil is also up. That we had to shut a lot of wells in the last year that cannot be turned back on due to pressure issues. Interesting. All right. Not enough pressure to get the oil out. So, you obviously know way more about the oil industry than I ever will. So I will take Josh Walker explaining all the oil industry stuff to us. Thank you. Thank you for jumping in there and taking up that mantle. Okay. How many times is Brenner going to ask the same question? Forever. I'm old. All right. Okay. Michael Ajero, Houston, if each of your shiny shirts was $220 each, would you sell them for GME shares and be left with no shiny shirts? I can start over. I can totally do that. Think of how many shiny shirts I can get when those $220 shares are worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of dollars a share. A lot. Plus, people gave these to me. I didn't buy them. They were free. So the markup from free to $220 is pretty sweet if you ask me. Even though I like this shirt, I will hunt down another one if I have to. Chud McGruff Cakes, Houston, question, odd question. So when pumping oil out of the ground from these huge pockets from underground, how does that not cause sinkholes or something worse? It does create big cavities. With the current fracking that's happening, they actually fill the holes with hydraulic fluid. So, you know, the oil might be trapped inside shale, so they need to crack the shale and force it out. So they pump down hydraulic fluid, and the oil floats on top of that, and it forces the oil up and out. And it breaks the rock and makes all those things. So what they're having now is settling of these new fractures they make, and they're essentially causing earthquakes as a result of that stuff. And then they're also contaminating groundwater with this fracking fluid because it's cracking and seeping in all over the place. But in a lot of places, a lot of the strategic petroleum reserve is they pump the oil out of the ground, and then they filled up an old salt cavern that they mine the salt out of with oil, and that's where they're storing it. They do weird things like that all the time. Peter, I'm not reading that one out loud. Dolphin Elect Testy, Mr. Wade, do you like Jeeps? I'm okay with Jeeps. My most recent trip to Hawaii, we had one of the Jeep, what are they calling those things? The truck ones. That thing sucked. That was an awful, terrible vehicle. Renegade? No, not Renegade. Jeep Warrior, whatever the name of the truck one is. The wheelbase is way too long. It was a crappy car. Four-wheel drive was meh. Didn't help that the tires were bald too. Rental company, Avis, don't give you people bald tires. But you know, I've driven them. If you have an original Jeep, the little two-door one, the wheelbase is really short and almost too short. It's great for like being on a trail, but if it rains or it's snowing, you can die on those things. Those just become spin machines. I haven't driven the four-door ones. They seem much more like just like a regular size SUV, and they probably behave more like that. But the old inline 4 liters, those engines were bulletproof. You could overheat those things all day long and just wait a couple hours and it'll cool off and start right back up again. Those are really nice engines on them. I like those, but I wouldn't buy a Jeep though. They don't really do what I need them to do, and I don't know. If someone gave one to me, yeah, sure, whatever, but I wouldn't go on my way to get one. Latukast Mew. It's got coordinates. Let's see where we're going. Something about Vikings. We end up with some Vikings. Go. 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 It's not going. Go. Go somewhere. Why no go? I don't know why it's not going. I don't know why. Sidebar. What's it say? Try that. Paste. Go. Can't understand this location. Why can't you understand it? I can understand it. So I make that north, and we make that east. No, it's not going there. I'm sorry, my man. It won't let me go there. It's a bummer, dude. It's a real bummer. Sorry. Sometimes it just, I put those coordinates in there. It does not like something weird in there, and it won't do it. People talk a lot about the parade floats. Are they doing like a float in the Rose Bowl parade or something? Is that what AMC's doing? People are mentioning it. I don't know. Marketing's marketing. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to market no matter what. Whether it's effective marketing, I don't know. Yeah. J. Ken, Houston, our current education system does not teach the financial markets. We get taught to be a cog in the machine. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, most people don't understand the financial markets, so it's really hard to teach it. This past year has been the greatest level of educating the public on market behavior ever. More people have learned about how markets work in the last year than they ever have probably in the history of markets. It's been quite amazing to see the fluency of folks as they, grow their brains about these things. And most people, when they learn about the markets, this is what they do. They go, "That's so stupid. Why is that allowed? That's so dumb. That should be illegal. What is wrong with them?" And I think that's probably a great thing to do, because before people weren't knowing all this illegal stuff was happening and unethical stuff was happening. Now they're learning how the markets work and they're making money off the market. They're finally able to say, we need to change this. We have this, something has to give. We can't keep doing this. That's the way it is. We're gonna have to change this stuff. So hopefully that will lead to electing people who are going to change these things. I would hope. Hey there, Houston. Do you believe in any myths, legends like the Loch Ness Monster, La Llorona, or any other? Like the cryptozoology things? I mean, there's chances some of them exist. Like, for a long time, giant squid were a myth. And about 15, 20 years ago, they found a corpse of a sperm whale, and the sperm whale had like sucker marks on it that were like this big. And then they cut the whale open and they found just giant beaks inside the whale. And they said, okay, extrapolating from the size of the sucker marks and the size of the beaks, the current largest squid we have means this squid has to be like 100 feet long. And everyone's like, no, that's just myth. That's like the Loch Ness Monster. And then eventually they found them. They found these super giant squid that had been lore of seafaring cultures for a long time. And they finally like got them. And there's squid out there that are like 30 meters long, and they're gigantic. And they go to war with sperm whales all the time, apparently. I think they eat one way or the other. But as far as like Loch Ness Monster specifically, no. They've mapped that lake back and forth. Ogopogo out in Okanagan, same thing. Like, they've been out there. They've mapped every square inch of that thing. There's no way some megafauna is going to avoid the tech they have to find that stuff. I mean, if in the vast ocean, if you can find a giant squid, that's one thing. But if you get a limited size lake, they're gonna find you. There's no way. If you can find a catfish, you can find Ogopogo. And I don't believe in Sasquatch either, or like the abominable snowman, Yetis. We would have found them by now. We go all over the place. We got satellites and helicopters and outdoorsy mountain climbers and whatnot. They would be stinky creatures you'd smell from a mile away, and you would see them. But there could be other weird fauna deep in jungles that we haven't, weird cats and things we haven't met yet. But I don't think the weird Loch Ness Monster things are happening. Maybe sturgeon. Maybe Loch Ness Monster is just a really big sturgeon or something. I don't know. Okay. Okay, that's the Vikings one. Felix has got some coordinates. Let's see if Felix's works. Looks like we're going tropical, Felix. What? Can't understand this location? Why can't you understand any locations? What is up with that? Why are you being so weird? No, I don't. Por qué? Por qué, Google Earth? It looks like a totally fine coordinate system to me. If I go like that, and I go like that, 9. For some reason, it won't work. I don't know. Google Earth is being a dick, and it doesn't like anyone's formatting of their coordinates at the moment. So we're stuck. Josh Walker. Most of our domestic oil is produced through sandstone synclines. Yeah, so you have rock that gets laid down flat, and then the earth pushes on it, and it moves around, and you get these warbles of how the rock ends up curving. So you get this blurk, this curve, and groundwater seeps in, pressure happens, oil gets produced from pressurizing dead sea creatures and whatnot, and the oil rises. So you get the oil's forced up, and there'll be a layer of water underneath this big syncline, and we drill into that and suck the oil out. I know that much, but you obviously know way more than I do, Josh. Yeah. Oh, so when oil went to $40 last year, those wells had to be turned off by reversing the pressure, basically pushing the producible oil out of the zone. Interesting. And when you do that, what happens? like you're like, oh, well, I can't afford to produce oil, so no one's ever going to get to produce oil again. Is that what's happening? That sounds like a really weird strategy. How do you force the oil back into the zones eventually? Probably super expensive. Okay. We're hoping the Jill can take us somewhere. All right, that one worked. What? It's not any different than the other ones. Why is that one? All right. California. We are, where? Santa Monica? Is that where we ended up? We're zooming in. We're somewhere in Santa Monica. We are at the giant binoculars. There you go. That'd be a good spot for Monkey and I to walk to. And some homeless people. All right. A lot of folks in Santa Monica living in jamborees and tiogas and stuff. But yeah, giant binoculars. What is that place? I dig that. This is the extended Tesla Model D. It's a limo version. I dig it. In Santa Monica, this whole area was like all canals and stuff, and they filled it in and made roads. It's a bummer. I like canals. Good spot, Jill. Bones Gladiator, thank you. Jeep Gladiator, that's the name of it. That thing was a hunk of shit. What a terrible car that was. Annie Mall, Houston. Why is it that every generation thinks their generation was the last great period of music? Nostalgia? That probably explains a lot of things. I remember I was in South Dakota with one of my dear friends, and she was like, oh, dude, you have to go to the cattle auction. We have to get hamburgers there because they are the greatest hamburgers I've ever had in my entire life. They are so fantastic. My dad and I go there all the time. They're so delicious. Let's go to the cattle auction and let's get some hamburgers. I was like, cattle auction? Hamburgers? Sounds great. We go to the cattle auction. It smells like cow ass. And we get hamburgers, and it is like frozen patties from Costco. Probably not even Costco, not even that good, on like crappy white buns. And it was the most mediocre, I went to a Little League game hamburger I ever had in my entire life. And she's like, isn't it just great? I was like, no, it's not great. It's a pretty terrible hamburger. But what I think you like about the hamburger is that you would spend time with your dad hanging out at this place, eating a hamburger and spending time with your dad. So you have this nostalgia about how wonderful it is because of who you spent the time with. And I think that often sort of clouds the experience for people. So in her brain, it's obviously the greatest hamburger in the world because it's her spending time with my dad hamburger. And for me, it was built up in my mind this is going to be the greatest hamburger ever, and it was just a crappy hamburger made by some lady who bought all the ingredients at a Jiffy Mart. And that's, you know, but I got to spend time with my friend. I enjoyed that. The hamburger, not so much. I think nostalgia has a lot to do with like how people view a lot of things, because it's what you had available to you, so it's what you learn to appreciate, and anything that deviates from that original appreciation is seen as like a threat or something. I don't know how to describe it. I was listening to some show on NPR the other day, and they're talking about nostalgia and how marketers and Hollywood are just hammering down nostalgia at the moment. For one thing, it's cheap. You already have the platform, you already have the plot, you already have like everything ready. You don't have to worry about like creating new characters and things like that. And then you can remake all these old movies and TV shows, and people will watch it out of nostalgia factor. You can take Lion King and you can make a computer animated version of it, and people will go watch it because that's what they do. And basically they took this like half an hour NPR show, and they basically just described exactly what South Park's Member Berries episodes were all about. Like, it's easier for people to look in the past and go, yeah, that's the stuff, than it is for them to I don't know, come up with something new. I don't know. But Member Berries, my dad is amazing because he's got some crazy nostalgia. Like, in his mind, apples when he was a kid back home in Virginia were the greatest apples in the entire world. There was never a better apple anywhere. But like, the only apples he had were Red Delicious. Red Delicious apples are disgusting. New apple varieties have been created since then that are way better than any of the Red Delicious apples. Apples were garbage. Apples were mostly used for making Applejack, and edible versions didn't really get created until Prohibition, when all these apple growers were like, what are we going to do? People aren't going to can't drink Applejack anymore. And so he has this nostalgia for apples of his childhood as being better than any apples created today. Well, they're not. And but at the same time, you know, like he just couldn't watch the TV show Mad Men. He's like, I can't watch that because in his mind, the 60s were awful. He's like, they were just terrible. Everyone was terrible. Everyone was racist. You know, there was epidemic of violence. People didn't have, you know, remotely the amount of rights they have today. He's like, it was terrible. And he never understood. Anytime people talk about like nostalgia of going back to the 1950s or whatever, he's like, the 1950s sucked. Like, everyone's dad had PTSD. All of our moms were on methamphetamines. You know, there was segregation and racism, and it was rampant. And in his mind, he's got like nostalgia for apples, but he doesn't have nostalgia for like the period he grew up in. For everything else, he doesn't understand why anyone looks back at the 1950s and goes, yeah, that's the type of America we want, because he thought it was just disgusting. Yeah, it's nostalgia is weird. Like, I grew up on grunge. The grunge era was my formative years. When I was like, you know, 13 years old, a lot of these grunge era dudes were coming from my hometown. You know, we had dudes from Soundgarden and Nirvana and Pud and March of Crimes and Mother Love Bone and all these. They were coming from like my community and the communities around me. So, you know, I was the dorky 13-year-old. They were the cool guys in their 20s, and they played just face-melting music, and I love that. And you know, the preferences changed, and you know, tastes change. I mean, the time. So when I was a kid, the oldie station was like doo-wop and whatever, and that was like the same amount of years ago as grunge is to me now. So I'm that old boomer who's like, classic rock, baby. Let's put on some Journey and Foreigner and REO Speedwagon and go for it. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll take Alice in Chains over REO Speedwagon any day, though. That's my own personal preference. It might be nostalgia, but I also think they're just better. Okay. All right. Josh Walker also says most of those wells will not come back online, or if they do, they will have less than 50% output. Man, that sounds like a really terrible plan to, like, oh, the price isn't good enough for oil anymore. Might as well just make this well useless. Because, like, if the oil is naturally pumping out of the ground anyway, why not just let it fill up a pool and then sell it later. Like, I don't understand. Someone's gonna have to like write me a thesis about why that makes sense for these oil companies to do that. Seems like a giant waste to force a well to become not productive because the price was too low at the time for it to be productive. I don't know. All right. All right. Oh, okay. I got to get going here. I got to go visit my family. I'm sorry today's show is short. We'll probably do a show at some point on Friday. I don't know. I may just take the weekend and have a weekend with my family. Yeah, sorry for the short show today. If crazy things happen on Friday, we'll definitely do one. I don't have to teach, so I can do an earlier show. It doesn't have to be an after dark show. If I do a show, if I do a show, it'll probably be earlier in the day because I won't have to do an after dark one. I may meet up with Al from Boston Friday evening. I don't know. I might have to do it next week with him. But yeah, enjoy your holiday. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Give your family big hugs, and fill yourself up and unbutton your top button and watch some football on TV. And those of you Europeans, you can cosplay as Americans and gorge as well tomorrow. Why not? Why not? Right? Food's food. Everyone loves it. Eat some turkey or don't. Yeah. But I will catch you guys on the flip side. Sorry if I didn't get to your questions yet. We will tackle them next show. We'll probably do a Friday show. We'll see. Okay. Bye-bye, folks. And here's your present. No, go there. Yeah, there we go.